Okay, good morning. Good Monday morning. I'm tired. I am so tired. I want to say since last week, I've been going to bed like super late because I'm just like wired and my brain is like overthinking of all of the fucking worst case scenarios and making up false fucking situations in my head. It's so stupid, but it's a habit. It's a really, really bad habit, like creating fake scenarios that will never happen. And essentially, like, I feel like I have a lot of things I need to get done in terms of like work and just mundane shit, and that really overwhelms me. As a like reality sometimes overwhelms me when it comes to all the mundane tasks and things like that. I don't know, I just don't work well with it. So anyways, I know it's been a while since I've been on here and I haven't talked to anybody, and it just kind of been like quiet and just kind of in my own like bubble, I guess. There was a couple of videos that I did make, but I just didn't post them. And then, because whenever I made them, I was like, kind of like double guessing, like, of course, like second guessing myself if I should post them and, you know, those kinds of things. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to just start fresh, and this is what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to say the last few weeks since I last made a video, I've been going through a lot when it comes to terms of relationships. My relationship right now currently is stable, and I'm okay with that. I wish it was better. I wish I had a little bit more security there, but I think that's just, well, I know that's just me creating fake scenarios. I know if you have seen me make videos about this before when it comes to terms of the relationship that I have, and how like I freak out, and then it's like I'm gonna be the reason that this relationship breaks. And of course that's just because I have abandonment issues, and I am aware of these abandonment issues, and I just don't really understand how to really like work my way through them unless I talk about them. Sometimes my partner does a really good job with help letting me like vent and kind of navigate my way through communication. Other times he's not, because of course I'm very not needy, but I really want to talk about it a lot, because I think about one thing and then I think about another thing and then another, and then I'm like, okay, so then I thought about it this way, and then I thought about it this way, but wait, what about this way? You know, like all of those kinds of things, and it gets a little bit overwhelming for him and a little bit frustrating. However, it gets frustrating for me myself for having to think and feel these things. But of course it just stems from just past trauma from my past relationship, and I'm just trying to do my best in this relationship to essentially be the best version of myself, and he is trying to be the best version of himself also. So I think that's logically that is the best thing for both of us. And I know when it comes to relationships, a lot of us go based on emotions, and because emotions are valid. However, sometimes we get so overworked in our minds that then the emotion is clouding the logic, and then we make judgments based on emotions, and that I always do that, and I fucking hate it, because then the sun's in my face. Then what happens is that I am making stupid decisions, and I've always been very insecure about my ability to make decisions, and that's just because I feel like I've always made really bad decisions, and that really put me in bad situations. So I've always had somebody to help me kind of navigate through my plans in life, talk to somebody and things like that, because I don't trust myself in some of those things. I got better after my separation from my ex and just learning to make those decisions on my own. So now I've gotten better with, having some faith in myself and really trusting myself. And there's been some things that have happened that are normal things, and some that aren't normal things happen that I'm like, fuck, I'm now making the same mistakes or making dumb decisions. So I have to really, really make sure that I am thinking logically and not emotionally to make sure I am making the best possible outcome. Because in the past, when I was making dumb decisions, it was because I was doing them based on emotions. Big surprise. Not really. So that being said, I really think that when it comes to relationships, a lot of people think that, the relationship should be 100% happy all the time, and that's not true. And I don't really care what anybody says. People can come at me for this, but I think that when it comes to a relationship, I think the both of you guys have to really be on the same page when it comes to being able to process emotions and make decisions on your own, and then also make decisions together. And then another thing is going to be that, yes, everybody has baggage, everybody has trauma, everybody has something, and that's okay as long as it's being communicated and expressed in a way to help that other one heal. But of course, to a certain extent, there has to be a boundary there. And I think as long as you both respect that boundary, then that's great. Not that your partner should be like your therapist. Definitely not. That is not that is not what the relationship should be. But I think your partner should be your safe space. And it's so funny because I remember having a conversation with somebody before, and it was like, oh, you do the most for your first person. That person fucking did you wrong, and then now you're lacking in your new with your new person in your new relationship. And that's completely true. I'm going through it right now. I'm going through it from the way I'm giving, and I'm going through it the way he's giving. And it's because we're both fucked up from our previous relationships that it's really hard for us to really let that wall down and be completely who we are. Now, it's been 3 years, and we're trying our best to let those walls down more and more every day. It's just a little bit overwhelming because it's scary. It's scary to let my walls down, and it's scary to be able to fully trust again when I already know that I've done these things in the past and they have not served me any good. They've only served me pain and suffering and just depression. So I am scared to go through those again, because whenever I am not having a good home life or a good relationship life, my work and mental health is deeply affected. And it's deeply affected to where I don't want to work and I don't want to do anything. So I really have to make sure that the relationship that I am in is healthy, has healthy boundaries, and that has really healthy open terms of communication. And I think that everybody should feel the same way. Everybody should have a person that they feel safe with. Not that that person needs to be like your safety net, but it's just in terms of like whenever you're done making yourself feel safe, you just need somebody to add a little bit of like sparkle to that safety. It's like, hey, yeah, I'm safe. I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with the decisions I'm making. I have this wonderful person who just adds just finesse and love and encouragement and just all of those beautiful wonderful feelings. So I think that that's what everybody should strive to have and really look for, as opposed to looking for the other person's bag, the other person's mental health, the other person's way of doing things. And yes, those things are important. You just have to make sure that you are also looking at your situation too, because I've seen a lot of people who are not in the best situations but want somebody who's very dependent, very into the bag, and all of those things. But it's like, that's not that why? Because at the same time, like, you're not any of those things. Like, if you're looking for somebody to look up to or to help you, you need a friend, not a partner. Change the group of who you're in. Change your groups, because once you start changing your groups, that's who you start to become. You learn new things, you learn how they're doing things, and then essentially you become the embodiment of the group of your friends. So essentially you need like a financial advisor, financial planner. You need somebody that can help you with your, like, all of your things. And if you need somebody that you need to vent to, you need a therapist. Like, those are the things that you need, not a partner. A partner is not going to fill those voids, and they're not going to make those situations any better at all. They're just going to essentially be the emotional Band-Aid. But once that Band-Aid comes off, you're fucking going apeshit. So that is not the best way to handle or approach a relationship. And I see a lot of people approach relationships this way. So I'm going to say, don't do that, based on experience, because we've all had those. Think about it as a rebound. Like, you don't want rebounds. You want meaningful relationships. And yes, not every relationship has to have its intensity to make you feel like the relationship is something that is spectacular and that you want to keep and that you want to keep moving forward with, because that's definitely not the case. It's like my relationship in the beginning, it was, as I've said before, it wasn't supposed to be a relationship. It was essentially just, the consistent D, because I was, single, and I am a sexual person, and it was a little bit, I just didn't have that sense of self-worth in anything, just because when it comes to my sexuality and those types of things, I feel like I need to be pretty active in order for my brain and for my body to function properly. That's a video for another time, maybe on a different platform, but that is a different conversation. However, so I think that is essentially the ideal way to approach the relationship, whether you're going to start a new one, all of those things. Now, what happens whenever you're in a relationship and something goes crazy, like goes south, and then you're trying to make it work, whether that be cheating, lying, it's just disrespect or any of those things. First of all, a man should never disrespect you. If he does, that means he just doesn't give a shit about you, point blank. For me, my values and my views on things are totally fucking different. To me, like, if I am not treated differently than the way that person treats everybody else, I'm not the one. Because if I'm treating you like I don't treat everybody else, that means you are special to me. That means I value you. That is how I see things. Everybody is different. I get that. But for me, that's how I see it. And yes, if I'm not getting that special treatment or that special attention that nobody else gets, I don't fucking want it. Like, you can keep that shit. I don't fucking care. That's just who I am. Because if I'm going to do all the things and I'm gonna do all the loving, and I'm gonna do all of the fucking, supporting and all of those things, because that's who I am. I'm a loving person, I'm a giving person, I'm a forgiving person, and I love to love, and I love love, and I do it intensely, and I know nobody else is as intense when it comes to love than me. I'm sure there is, I just haven't met those people yet. I'm almost borderline obsessive. That is my problem. And I feel like my partner should be just as obsessive as I am. And if they are not, obsessive in a healthy boundary kind of way. Let's put it that way. If they are not that way, then I feel like they're just not for me. And I know that that is a problem for me to think that way. I know that's a problem. However, I'm trying to work on that. But that one, that's a different time. Anyways, so then yes, do you have that disrespect? A man should not disrespect you. I don't give a shit how mad that man is. Also, another thing is going to be like hurt, lying, things like that. How do you move on from that? Well, first of all, you have to be really honest with yourself that that's something that you can forgive. If you know deep down that's something that you cannot forgive, or that you're unsure, let's start it this way. If you know you're not able to forgive them for that, don't even try. There's no point. You're just going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt your partner. Just let it go. Meaning, letting go of the relationship. It's easier said than done, depending on how long you've been in that relationship and how much you've invested into that relationship. Sometimes you might have to get a little bit more logical in that aspect as opposed to emotional. Other things, like let's say if it's something that you know you can forgive, then okay, it's going to take some time. However, things will never be the same. I don't care what anybody says. That person that did the lying or did the whatever, the betrayal in that relationship, is always going to want to go ahead and just live on like nothing ever happened, because they cannot deal with the reality or face the facts of the things that they did. So that is just escapism. No, because then the partner that you actually betrayed is the one who's hurting. You're not hurting. They're hurting. You're just sorry. You're just sorry that you got caught. You're just sorry that you did it after you did it. That's all it is. So now you have your partner who, I don't know, let's say they were, being 100%, even 90%. Now that person is fucking broken and trying to figure out what the fuck are they gonna do, kind of shit, So I don't know. That is just my take on that part. But why is that cart making that noise? Excuse me. Anyways, so that is just my take on the whole situation of relationships. I feel like I have a lot to say when it comes to regarding to relationships, because I've been through so much bullshit. And it's funny, I was telling my friend the other day, because we have a lot of like really cool conversations and things, and I was like, I should have been like a couples therapist or like a sex therapist or something. That's what I should have become. And it's like, it's funny because I talk a lot about things, and even like on like my Instagram and stuff like that, I talk a lot about relationships. But it's a fun thing to talk about because I know my views are different than everybody else's, and sometimes I like to be controversial, even though I hate it because I don't like conflict or confrontation, because I feel like I always escalate things more than what they should be, and that's my fault. Like I know it's not other people, but it's me, because people be saying stupid stuff and it triggers me, and like why like what anyways. So I think I want to talk more about relationships right now, especially because I'm trying to be a better person for my relationship, and my partner is also. So we're both trying to like learn these new things and new ways and how to approach our relationship, because our relationship is not a normal relationship. relationship was not normal either. But anyways, so I'm just going to stop that for now, and I'm about to get to work, and it's Monday morning, and I hope everybody has a good Monday. And I overslept today, which is why I'm like half an hour late. But this morning I woke up and I was like, I just don't care. I care, but then I don't. It's just because I needed some time for myself to get those extra minutes of sleep. And I just needed it. I needed to honor my mental health and my body for additional 30 minutes. I just had to. Even though I had the weekend for that, but look, I spring cleaned my apartment